Welcome everyone. The title says it all. I couldn't resist. I further tried to PBO and memory overclock from this fastish but largest 64 kit. Out of it I'm already up and running for some minutes, 40. So yeah, let's hope for the best. God, otherwise, yeah. So I got, of course, some percent performance, but obviously I kind of sort of also need to stop because, as I say so often, the return of investment is not really worth it. In my case, only potentially for YouTube content, and obviously running this for 2 years, compiling the heck out of it. Speaking of compiling the heck out of it, so yesterday I thought we had this issue. I only took a short look at that. At home at night, I then rather relaxed with some 40 minutes of Lord of the Rings series there, not a bit advertisement. Although I have to say the review sounds more horrible than you can relax with it. But anyway, I thought it might be like the DHCP, if not Perl issue, because then I remembered I had disabled or removed this native, like previously we had native only enable gold because it was written in C++. So a decade ago we couldn't cross-compile that here in our 25 years approaching T2, one of the early and most amazing news distributions. And so I actually rebuilt that at 2300 at home. I didn't change a thing. I'm not even sure whether gold is still a thing, right? That was what is gold? Gold is the new rewritten in C++ and fast and only F supporting and stuff. Linker nowadays, of course, from Google in 2008 or so. I'm not even sure if that is still a thing, and welcome everyone. But yeah, now that we can build, there is no reason to no longer do that. Very theoretically, we could actually grab on all those best without typos sources we have there potentially at stage native. Actually this or some maybe conf opt. How many are those? Theoretically we could, this is actually not, but this was only this. We also have 7 and maybe, but that's not all. There might be more. Lisp dear, bash, Lisp dear, you had me at Lisp dear. For example, also this here, if not native, then PEM might not be necessary anymore. Let's make it to do. And theoretically, also are we still compiling? It's a nice all-core PBO, right, isn't it? I don't know what other people get, but I'm feeling lucky and silicon lottery with that stuff. Obviously, in total, I wasted some hours of reboot and dialing there. Leave in the comments below what you get and stuff. I see there's a comment. I take a look in a second. Clean. So not for today. Also, I wonder if we Zamba cross PEM review all non-native or non-native cross disablements or quirks. So yeah, while we are epic thread wrapping through that, that is a RISC-V build just for the test of it. So the next thing, also maybe we should, do I have here the bloody DHCP? Let's actually, and that is the thing, right? As much as I want my to-do to be 0, it's the more I work, and that's the crazy stuff. The more I work, the more I fix, the more I actually find broken and to do, and also the only constant is changing upstream changes, right? Because review DHCP LTO disablement and default to another smaller signer client BP course. Also, maybe, I guess we're currently not shipping wine. Wine by default needs, since some year we can cross-compile that. For another day, that's what you have to do for. So, Warner, Linux development, currently pursuing computer engineering. What should I start in the beginning? That's asked very often. I usually recommend start with what you're interested in, otherwise it's boring and you give up. But I would not call did you say Linux development? The question is also what in Linux development, right? Kernel, user space, is there, it's a wide range from firmware, bootloader, where's my, that firmware, bootloader, kernel, user space, compiler, X-Valent graphic driver, Mesa, applications, UI toolkits, and a wide range of stuff. But do what you are most interested in, and also recurring theme. I learned the hard way. If it weren't for YouTube, I might actually have given more up on my T2 Linux development, like most people of our Rock Linux and T2. Like we had dozens of worldwide developers with Rock Linux 25 years ago, right? But people moved on, grew up, had a life, and simply couldn't tinker with their Linux hobby project anymore, right? I'm obviously the major person left of that. I was since 1998 a major contributor with desktop Rock Linux and then Rock Linux daily release maintainer and then obviously T2. Even at T2 we at times had probably 10 core developers, but the reason I say this is because there's not that much money to be made unless you, I mean, even we tried projects, right, embedded projects and stuff. We even talked with Volkswagen, even Sony. I said this before, we have been at the CeBIT trade show, Embedded World here in Nuremberg, in Germany. I flew to Taiwan with our scanner stuff to scanner companies and so on. But the truth is, I mean, neither Volkswagen nor Taiwanese scanner companies for our scanner business, right? Also, don't delay, try our exact scan and exact code software stuff maybe today and stuff. But the sad truth is that neither Volkswagen and stuff or Sony back in the day, or like basically nobody, like most people don't want to pay external people. They have their employees that they torture 24/7 and have work overtime and weekends for free and stuff. And they don't want to spend money, whether it's Volkswagen or Taiwanese scanner vendors. And with this project, I said it before, right? Like maybe become another developer if the sad thing is, which probably should make it more dedicated video, always answer this. I probably should also not answer this stuff. Just to give you a little bit context, maybe I should make a dedicated video, not always answer for 5 minutes. But we also tried projects. We did carrier grade Linux, so our Linux there on PowerPC, Compact PCI, I think it was 3G base stations and stuff. This was it Motorola Freescale, Compact PCI, PowerPC blades. I still have 2 here. Actually, I have it here already from the basement because I wanted to actually make YouTube videos. But the point is, with this project, right, you only get usually low paid projects, and that is not how you can build a company, right? We had bigger projects 15 years ago, but it's for me not a joyful living to only hunt projects and then with all the competition from overseas and students to do it at below market value just to have some projects, and all the stress and all the peak bugs in other people's stuff also. And so yeah, whether you really want to do it, that's a big question. I would, if I could time travel and tell my younger self, give my younger self some tips, and now I'm of course in there, right? I don't want to throw away this 25 years of Linux distribution stuff, which I know with YouTube you want to make the most out of it. And obviously I need an amazing Linux for myself. But I would tell my 25, if I could travel 25 years back, I would tell my younger self, do your own operating system, which we kind of started. With my neighbor, we did some protected mode stuff on DOS, which usually crashed because 386 and stuff and not virtualization. But I would tell my younger self, not only do your own freaking microkernel, which we wanted to do, or like probably kinder, because in the Intel documentation was already written with ring 0 to 3 and drivers in between and stuff. It's actually like my neighbor and I, when we were like 16 and 18, we wanted to more microkernel and address space isolated stuff than Linux ever was, which in retrospect is obviously crazy. So, or like a recording studio, which we already did the 10-channel general sound manipulation program stuff. But like basically do everything but embedded Linux, because except some handful of fun projects that delivered some return of investment, it was mostly waste of time, unfortunately. And with the state of desktop Linux and ever-changing upstream source and regressions, yeah, so... And also I would tell my younger self, this open source does not work out, this making the world better, like we probably thought when we were young and naive with like 18. Making the world a better place like that doesn't work. Do some commercial success stuff. Yeah, and embedded Linux and Linux development as it is not like that. With this freelance stuff, like if you do freelance Linux development, you're not getting paid high rates, right? If they want to pay high rates, they go to other big established projects, companies. And so if you are like, you and your friend or stuff, or even if you're like 5 or 10, you will always work for cheap and get some leftover projects that nobody else wanted to do or whatever, and so on and so forth. It's like, yeah. Anyway, thankfully we didn't waste the time, and Epic Thread compiled through the stuff here. So nothing really is lost. I'm actually so I patched also the Linux kernel. There is a new Linux kernel patch which is already upstream for 6.1 or so, printing the segmentation fault CPU, the likely segmentation fault CPU. First, when I thought this news scrolling by, I was like, yeah, YOLO, whatever. But then I thought actually for like curve optimizing your CC axis here in your cores, it's actually not a bad thing, right? First I thought, yeah, who cares? Like, where's the segmentation fault? But actually, I'm running that now. I didn't test that yet because it didn't have segmentation fault. But my idea is that if I get segmentation fault, I would only PBO curve optimize, change the curve optimization for that core, is my idea, which is why I'm running with this patch already. Yeah, so we have more. Gonna do your own operating system. Why being what? How are you gonna do your own operating system? TempleOS 2.0. I'm not doing TempleOS 2.0. What? How are you gonna? Well, even Linus Torvalds was a beginner, right? Although he only copied Unix, brought a Unix clone. Of course, you need to have some knowledge, right? You need to be. I mean, with 16, 18, we were also beginners, self-taught beginners at home with Turbo Pascal and Turbo Assembler. You grow with your project, right? And I mean, sure, even Linus Torvalds was a beginner with operating system stuff 30 years ago. And then you learn and you do, and then rinse and repeat. And you obviously should read some academia, some operating system research, and use that knowledge and stand on the shoulders of other people's successful research. So we have some stuff to do. So what I find a little bit crazy, so I did rebuild this Perl thing. I think this was also PowerPC, wasn't it? What did I even, let's check what I did rebuild yesterday, or did I rebuild Spark? Apparently I did I rebuild Spark? Wait, what did I, wait, this is not time sorted. Ah, it's also best. a dash. Probably PowerPC. So as far I think I reverted this binutils linker change because the crazy thing is also, I guess this is some kind of regression in some way, shape or form, because, or did we change GCC between the last release? I lose overview. So tags 22.7 and then trunk. Was it not 22.7? I thought it was, but 22.9. Did we do 22.9? Did we lose overview? Did we really release a... Maybe this was just intermediate. This was just a high performance test release. So we hit risk, so now I'm interested in what happens here with risk 5, which is also why we test build that. Also, in general, I want a release soon, so even apparently... So I wouldn't be surprised if that fails the same way. With this... Yeah, so... Oh no, wait a second, this is even... So somehow this bloody symbols are hidden. This is another symbol, so... I wonder a little bit... But it can't be stack protector, can it? I wonder slightly, can symbols be hidden in an archive? Also, well, okay, maybe I guess you can, like if you hide the symbol. It probably is in O. So it is another symbol, but the issue here is recurring. What? Ah, darn, I apparently fat fingered it. So we have here some kind of issue, and for that is the only thing I said a couple of times, should we, like every other week, or like why am I building up here embarrassingly epic and thread-ripping systems? And I was actually considering, should I sell my last year's overkill build with this Asus workstation X570 Pro Ace thing and the Ryzen 1550X, but I don't really want, I mean, I get half the price, right, and I don't also want to deal with cheaters, like you sell it on eBay and then people complain it doesn't work and stuff, and you only have issues, or they ruin it, like they freaking overclock it and then want to return it and stuff. So I figured I'd rather keep that here as a reference. You see, you can never have, like, the only substitute for CPU cycles is more CPU cycles. And even though this Ryzen 5950X is of course 40% or even over 40% faster, I will keep that here, like, for exactly this kind of stuff. And this is exactly what I said for years. I want more test, like continuous integration stuff. If I would have like every week, which I'm still like, I'm working and building, and obviously making T2 better is a big part of that. And it usually builds until you want to release it, and then like more for quite some architecture, some shit is broken. And so the problem is I don't know how and why, right? If I would have, so probably, I mean, I can't build all 26 architectures. That is just too much waste of resources and electrons and electricity and stuff. And heating the room here, which already usually is too warm. But at least one architecture, like, or one or two, like one new, like RISC-V, like one state of the art, like RISC-V 64 or ARM64, and another vintage like Spark 64 or PowerPC 64 stuff, like vintage, just to know from what kind of set of changes this broke, because now this must have built, and I mean theoretically we could epic. The problem is it takes like probably 40 minutes on this Ryzen 50x to rebuild all of this. And this is also why T2 is so amazing, which very few other distributions have like this. This fully automated, scripted bootstrapping from source, right? Including Rust and stuff, which we work so hard on here to get everything right and perfect. And yeah, I probably need to set up some kind of continuous integration. Did I even write data run? What kind of updates do we have? Nothing like having data run. It's like here are some updates. How I love that previous video. So some X stuff, GraphViz, GNOME software stuff, sudo of all things, including, hey, they have some deleted, and that is like data I write. The only Linux distribution, probably, defense comes below, but is T2 the only Linux distribution which like has an AI bot running and it's like, hey, here's some updates, and by the way, we deleted your last week's hotfix cross patch because it didn't freaking apply anymore. It's like, thank you very much. Love it. We should actually check if that cross builds. I didn't yet do data do cross build, so it's only doing a native build. So let's see if they have indeed fixed this embarrassing bug, or if data AI deleted that prematurely, which would not be a first for. Okay, it's not prematurely. It did actually. I think, what was the error? The error was, yeah, I think, as far as I remember, the error was already at configure time. So love it. We still need to figure this bloody. So we probably guru meditate that. Do we have also what was this? Was Perl? Let's the build continue. So Perl here. I go in here, so we are here. So we don't delete that. Let's maybe clean that and actually not. Let's touch the log file and let the build continue. Not wasting any CPU cycles here. So we can't fix that in Perl. That is obviously. So how to start with that? So git bsect is of course not like an option, because like rebuilding the whole bootstrap takes 40 minutes. We probably first should determine. I mean, I could build 22.9. That is, maybe I should actually. I also always wondered. I said so often, should we? I mean, theoretically, we could spit out ISOs monthly. The only problem is, even the last release wasn't the most picked up by news sites as usual. I fear if I spit out a release every month, like no news site will care. So like a more major release will probably be like 3 times a year, or two to 3 times a year, whenever major changes are, like glibc, GCC, LM Clang, Rust, Firefox, Linux kernel. However, we could tag every month easily, just also for better reference of when what broke, and maybe with a mainstream ISO, right? I'm of course aware like 95% of the downloads are x86-64, no surprise there, right? So maybe it would be worth doing that monthly, like one automated snapshot release and tag for x86-64 mainstream stuff. And then all the other release galore for 26 architectures, 26 plus architecture, user space combinations, whenever we have major changes. But for now, it's really crazy. So the diff is... I'm actually surprised with all this massive memory. So I tightened memory subtimings, further negative curve optimization. I'm surprised it's still stable, but I'm very much aware that this is very much on the edge. So this is, I have no idea what temperature and stuff, and 24/7 loads. I had previous overclocks that like spontaneous rebooted at night, so fingers crossed. So here is our diff actually 4.4 freaking megabyte. That is absolutely crazy. 3,000. Also many cache files, of course. 47,000 insertions. So we are net 17,000 net lines of. This is absolutely insane. So we have some GCC stuff also. What is that here even? Oh, that is some very old compat stuff. Can we actually freaking delete that? It's not even that many T2 changes. GCC. Actually, wait, there is some GCC change. Actually, we are changing GCC from 11.3 to 12.2. So it's actually quite some change. Yeah, it is silly. That is my recurring life, 25 years. People don't believe me, right? People always told me for decades I make this shit up. That was a great... to have, what, 18 years ago, thank you very much, GCC 3.3. Can't make this stuff up. Questions here, how's AM5 so far? The CPU is amazing, just warm. Just this board is a little bit near also, like the Intel Ethernet ICP, so the Intel Ethernet sometimes acts up that's nothing AM5 rated, and this X670E gigabyte Aorus Masters board has some strange USB hiccups, right? So this is like main logic board hiccups that I wouldn't attribute to AM5. The AMD AM5 stuff appears to be rock solid unless the USB stuff comes out of the CPU. I don't know. If it were not for the USB and Ethernet hiccups, it is crazy, right? All the CPU and memory stuff is amazing, and then you have USB and Ethernet hiccups. I would also not, I only brought this board due to early adopter on launch day. I obviously would not. I said this board is too expensive, right? I would, under normal circumstances, never buy a 600 euro board. Get some B 670, I guess, or whatever you need. It's probably usually more than enough for like half the price and stuff. But yeah. Otherwise, CPU is amazing. DDR5 works for me. One mod, the 64 gigabyte model previously had needed a little bit overvolting to be stable, but the BIOS sucks the most, plus its glitches. I guess it makes the most sense to, I mean, I probably should dissect this thing here if that is, I mean, I guess it's hidden. So I mean, we could maybe the problem is I sometimes debug like easily 8 hours on GCC shit with all the makefile stuff and so on. Maybe it would be the only thing that takes 40 minutes, man. Should we bootstrap a fresh test build with GCC 11.3 something? Do they have ESA updates coming? Maybe I should look into their where is their freaking Git? Do I miss anything else? Trying to use dynamic array. Nope. Programming language is just a tool. So, browse the Git history online. Yes, please. Daily bump? Seriously? Do they have a branch or stuff or tags, heads, releases, series 12, short log 15 hours ago? Do they have anything reasonable? Daily bump, are you kidding me? Why do you have such nonsense in there? I don't see something immediately sticking out here. Analyzer fix memory leak. I'm actually mostly surprised that we didn't have a crash yet with this crazy curve optimization. I'm approaching 27 on most cores, so and tighter memory subtiming. So the thing is, so here's risk 5. Use a lib. So it's libgcc. And risk 5. The problem is I yesterday didn't immediately see what is hidden. What even was it? It was or something reasonable like swap at home. Alright, I wanted. So there's also, by the way, the other CL whatever, something it was yesterday. Localize hidden. What? Localize hidden? What's going on there? Oh wait, this is from other. It was from some other tool. Does someone know, top of the head, how to... Next question, how's the 7950X been so far? More videos on the Moment channel, right? Or you probably want to rewind summaries. So far amazing, obviously running hot. I can't believe how much it curve optimizes, feeling a bit lucky there. As always, longing for more, but I feel Silicon Lottery for the most part, just the gigabyte board or chipsets or stuff have some USB, and certainly the bloody Intel ICB NIC there. Issues, but otherwise AMD stuff looks to be amazing. But for more stuff, more main channel overclocking and stuff, or rewind here. Demangle is for C++ symbols, right? So I wouldn't expect that, but I mean, can try that. It's probably only for C++ symbols, so. Because I wonder also, maybe it's some linker bug. It could also be bin utils, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be GCC, so this needs to be some careful investigation. The symbol visibility is also super annoying. It's way too complex and messy. How many corner cases and quirks and stuff. I wonder, wait a second. It is not impossible that our LTOs doing that. We have some hack there to partially build, although I think we disabled that for... So we only are supposed to LTO... I mean, we could... With this, I would hope that doesn't match. always nice. Did I leave that? I probably left that. Yeah, so that run didn't hit LTO there. Let's try that. So one GCC just while we try to find more, read the freaking manual. But to this AM5, the only thing I need is more memory, right? Previous video, if as documented, probably also on Intel 2, if you have more than one memory module per channel, like two, like you have 4 sockets, 2 on each channel, if you only get the max memory clock and overclock with 1 module per channel. And I found that to be true, more main channel, right? And I obviously, so right now I'm running 64 megabyte. So either I would need 2 modules, like 128 gigabyte kit of 2 64 gigabyte modules, because Epic thread wrapping compiling stuff. That is the only thing, right? But it's a general DDR5 or even DDR4 thing. So yeah, ideally my biggest wish, except always faster and cooler CPU, maybe I will actually really trim that CPU by 0.6 millimeters or stuff for lower temperatures, and maybe custom water loop stuff, which trimming the IHS probably helps temperatures quite a bit. Otherwise I need more memory, right? But that would be Intel 2, unless you go Epic thread ripping with, was it 4, 8 memory channels, whatever, does it have 8? But yeah, that would be, if you need so much memory, then obviously you need a more professional platform. And otherwise I would long for DDR5 64 gigabyte modules, rated 6000 whatever mega transfers. So that would be the only thing. Public and are still there. Dynamic symbol table. The visibly only applies to the dynamic symbol table, and then dash D. So now we are rebuilding, so while we want to debug that, we eventually overriding that, and then actually here it says quite some no symbols. Are we up to something? Let's go to x86. And nm-d, the libgcc here. This has no symbols. Can that be right? What is my system? User lib. Yeah, quite some. Also says no symbols. Maybe that just doesn't work like that. So we rebuild GCC with guaranteed no LTO, hopefully. Let's see if that changes as per linking there. questions there. What are my thoughts on Arch Linux? Well, I don't try other Linux distributions. Right? I work on my own, and it's always like it's like if you ask a Debian developer what they think about T2 Linux, and they would probably tell you the T2, this unsuccessful one-man Linux distribution, is usually what they're saying. So, like asking other Linux distribution developers what they think about other Linux distributions, it's like asking Volkswagen what they think about Toyota or stuff, right? But is Arch not the Linux distribution where the toolchain maintainer quit, like the toolchain stuff that we're currently debugging? Like if you're wondering why some other distribution toolchain maintainers quit, stuff like that is probably why. But yeah. But I mean, I don't hate other Linux distributions like Debian developers hate me. I respect that there's choice and different requirements, and I'm certainly aware that T2 is rough and raw, and probably, I mean, our market is not end users, which maybe it should. So maybe we should make the stuff more graphical user interface, and otherwise, I mean, I'm working on making it just work TM more often, like with dependency resolution and stuff. But yeah, okay, this did not fix a thing. The error is probably the same. I would guess. Oh wait, this is another. This is not safe, but that is actually if you. I think this is for saving registers. Why is that? Why is it another register now? Why is it another symbol now? Because that is what I usually got when I size optimized. Where is... Yeah. Let's see what we get when we do speed. Question: what we're looking for? We're looking for why some things like Perl don't link for many architectures now, which is some regression in some way, shape, or form somewhere, like maybe GCC, or maybe binutils, or some other random thing we changed. Someone was asking for the font. The font is Comic Code because code is so comical and peak bugs that I actually wanted to troll you, but then I actually liked the font. It's a commercial font though, which I officially licensed for, I think, $29. Usually I use otherwise full open source. Like, it's basically the only third font. I need to check. Maybe the third font I licensed ever in my whole life, not counting the fonts you get as part of Windows or Office, which obviously we have a license or two for here in the company, but the second or third font I directly paid for to license. As I respect my work, I respect others, designers and work. So yeah. So is it all? Did we miss something? But yeah, I really there are. Oh wait, hey, this freaking worked now. This is of course not how we should do it. So this is of course not ideal. There is, so at least it can build. So this is of course not. I mean, other people, like some of the other 1,956 distributions would call this a day, but not we. Let's continue the build. So there is something very minor going on there, and I probably, because it should be possible to build code in any combination of, or at least in my opinion, optimization flags. So yeah, it can build. There must be some minor thing. I need to further debug GCC, which I probably will do tonight then from the comfort of the sofa at home. It affects many architectures though. I'm not sure if it is worse. I probably better guru meditate by reading the freaking GCC sources and debug the makefile and try to figure out what they do there with symbol visibility in the libgcc, which also, it's crazy, it makes no sense to me, right? That they build GCC support library and then they hide the symbols. That sounds strange to me. Maybe some makefile or configure bug or other such random quirk. We probably want to revert this GCC change though. We maybe should change, because currently if you build GCC it prints out that it doesn't do LTO, and that's a bit confusing. Maybe we can make it a little bit better by explicitly how did we do that in do we have that here? Alright, it's actually a little bit more complex. Wait a second. Does it mean... what have I done there? I remember that this was somehow that the conf test optimized everything away. So this was the way this works. Is I even implemented like nested conditional stuff here. All right, this was shared. All right, I remember. But it probably means, okay, maybe we don't change it that much. The only thing is to make this simple, we could make no LTO silent or so, or custom LTO. To make it easier, like to not globally enable it but not print the warning if packages have custom LTO, just to make the build output less confusing that it's actually doing some LTO thing. Because here we have GCC, so this is actually not... why do we even... Alright. I'm not even sure if... This might not be the best conditional. We would ideally want also a program here actually. And this might not yet have the desired effect when we probably want to better lock somehow on object dir like the whole of GCC, we're probably not the final link. We're probably not catching the final link of that. Like, so the random imperfection you notice while you look into that. So what we are building, risk 5. And like object dir. The problem is tracking just that. So that, does it have, maybe not, where would be, where is it building GCC? So it is not, we probably can match on slash GCC. Would that be a better? I didn't grab that correctly. What is that building? libgcc? Wait a second, does it mean maybe there our symbols got lost? If lib GCC, maybe it's, oh wait, no, we had LTO. Ah, but actually, wait a second, maybe this is LTO. Maybe because it's lib GCC cross CC lib. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, this is even our, wait, what is it doing here? Oh wait, this is not even. So yeah, we need to be very carefully there what we're actually LTOing. Entering, okay, that is not really helpful. Entering object dir GCC. Here we are building the main. We can't LTO the bloody libraries, or can we? I think we can't. I think this was usually optimizing shit away, which is of course hilarious. Where even is freaking main build of GCC? Is this here using the right compiler? dn. So we need to find something that we can use to so it would be something like that here. And that is, I mean, we could check if we can use that one here, if that is only used for, I mean, just using some random stuff. There is even build gen hooks. Like if they, that would be the easiest instead of trying to match the files, which is a little bit tricky here. Unless they also build their no, this is GCC stuff, I think. Unless they also build the library stuff with in GCC. That looks relatively only like that so far. In GCC front end. Okay, that is C family frontends. I wonder. Does that? I mean, we could try that. Maybe that is better than trying to grab some, match some directory. Which one is it? GCC config. We could even match on both, so it's only using front end. But no, this, oh no, this is library. Why does it say no pi? We would want stuff position independent, and here they are explicitly, like, do you know, we don't. What is it compiling here? This is Go. The easiest might be to try it. Wait, here is some, this looks like libgcc. No, this we can't use it here. It's in libgcc. So wop. And here's exactly, so is there a chance we previously matched GCC? Here's, for example, /GCC. Are we still, there are params. I mean, the most reliable would of course be to match it on the directory just with all the, like, each thing, including each other in the kitchen thing and GCC directories. So we can't use that. Maybe that one, does that make sense? Or we, because just .c doesn't really, I mean, I mean, we could patch the makefile to include some, like, no operation token. What is annoying is that all the many directories here, they kill that quite a bit. Even like if we match here for .gcc and stuff, that is also used all over the place, as you see. So it's actually very tricky to, like, here, including, which is that even? Yeah, that's what we're getting for trying to LTO optimize a bit of. Are they even LTO optimize GCC itself? Do other people do that? Or is there some, maybe we don't need to use our wrapper, maybe there is some. Are we also building something? Yeah, bloody Perl shit. Yeah. Wait, something also failed now? Okay, there are quite some undefined references. So, and this is LTO, ladies and gentlemen. So what have we done? Let's maybe try what happens. LTO. Actually, you know what? This might have been now due to whole program. All right, I think we need to write that twice because no, otherwise it's using whole program everywhere. So I guess we simplify that, or simplify and make it better. The question is, do they use that for the final link? You would hope they do. Nah, thinking much. Where's the final? Promise so many. Here's some GCC main. Oh, here's GCC AR. No, they have in GCC, not wait, which is it? Yeah, so definitely not front. Actually, maybe the last with front end. Oops. If you reverse search, should the last be the final link, except if it isn't? Maybe the final link doesn't have it. Unless, is this a final link? Front end? See, spell check, you can't mix this stuff up. Where is the .o? CC1 object. Maybe this is a final. Okay, you know what? Let's try that one. Maybe that's good enough, or at least better than what we currently have. So if in GCC front and LTO, and let's make the 2 lines, otherwise it gets a little bit longish. So insert, if you're in GCC front and only, then LTO will program. Maybe that's better. Let's see what happens. Nothing like live testing that stuff. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, why we need the fastest enthusiast overclocked curve optimized system money can buy. I'm not sure if we maybe need to rebuild the first base GCC. I'm not sure if it's using this system libgcc or if it's using its freshly built one. Any news about ARM 32 builds? Glad to try it out. Well, they are there, right? Just that, I mean, we try to build as generic as possible. You might, so what actually I otherwise say, if you want to try it out, bring your own kernel, right? Extract it, like you don't even need to reinstall it. If you have some working installation, reuse that kernel, because that is the major pain point of ARM and other cheap socks. And which is also what I did actually even 15 years ago. Also at times in commercial projects, right? No point of fiddling for hours and days to get some kernel there. If there was some project with whoever, use their kernel shit and just build the latest and greatest state-of-the-art user space stuff with T2. At least you lose no time with kernel nonsense of drivers and bootloader bullshit. And yeah, so you can just try that out. Yeah, that's the easiest thing, right? Just create a T2 folder wherever, extract the tarballs, like get the ISO, mount it, extract the tarballs, like for F in tarballs on the ISO, tar this stuff in that new T2 folder, and then change like bind mount proxies, def, and change root in there. And you can already play around, benchmark it and stuff. Strangely, GCC compiles slow on a CPU beefy is used though. What do you mean with slow? For different architectures maybe, which is why. Well, compiling, well, generating code for some RISC or other architectures might be at times slower. x86 is so complex it's slow, but RISC can also be slow because they have other optimization passes. But even if I build PowerPC on a G5, previous video, it is even slower, right? I mean, sure, compile time for other architectures depends, but it's still epic thread ripping. Also, this is enabling nearly all languages, so that's including Ada, Objective-C, Go, and they all have their support libraries, so it's just embarrassingly building all humongous, oversized feature set and sources, right? And all the other support libraries like libgcc, libsanitizer, libasana, whatever. So yeah, it's just freaking working hell. And we're building in parallel, right? We have 2 builds here, so not like some although not at times that is the thing, right? Serialized configure stuff here and there until GCC kicks in overdrive of, do we even, yeah, 32 threads. So yeah, and that is also why I didn't buy in Threadripper yet. If AMD or Intel wants to sponsor ourselves, please send shit our way. But yeah, if I get an even more embarrassingly parallel stuff like 64, if not 128 threads of ARM, Ampere, or AMD Threadripper and Epic goodness, then I would need to also probably change our T2 scripts to build more stuff in parallel. Like, yeah, no, it's, but, and that is also the thing, right? Stuff like GCC, or did we probably build GCC? We built GCC there. I mean, it builds quite quickly, right? I mean, how fast do you build? I mean, building C, C++, Objective-C, Ada, Go, Fortran, and all the support stuff in 3 minutes and 43 seconds is actually pretty good, I would say. On an Apple G5 dual or quad core, it would probably build an hour or 2. So, yeah, it's a bit it needs to build. Plus some CPU cycles wasted on building Xorg drivers and Go script and stuff. You know what? Let's try to see what happens with. So this was PowerPC, right? PowerPC. By the way, I wonder, what did people yesterday say I should. What even was the. I forgot which one that was. Let's try to rebuild. I don't know if we can actually to Perl, or maybe even. I cancel that because if like that I have an error file, and if I use build target, it just continues. I just want to check with that libgcc. I should actually test whether we, like with this libgcc, if that works, but maybe it doesn't. But I should also test whether we actually did LTO something. The easiest way to test that, by the way, we could like intentionally break it or add a warning. Let's see, GCC. No, let's just break it and see if this matches something. So with breaking, I mean, if we change LTO to that probably doesn't exist. Oops. And if we then risk 64 to GCC, that probably should error out relatively early. There are certainly more sophisticated ways, but it's an easy thing whether that even matches something. No, that's still building because, of course. Okay, that still didn't fix the root cause. But that is hidden symbol in. So why is this bloody symbol hidden? So we had the same. What other architecture did we had that on? HPPA? Maybe nearly all. Yeah, we don't have. So HPPA, we would need to GCC maybe. Let's see if that. Oh, it's also the wrong one. Wait, why do I have one GCC now? Okay, right, we had an intentional error there. So yeah, so this matches something as expected. Let's probably reword that. So that matches something, that's good. Oops. Let's then build that there while we take a quick look into the log file to determine, just double check that that indeed was a valid program X. So GCC front end. So yeah, the infamous AM5 GB Aorus PC USB platform stability apparently hit again. Not sure how. I guess it wasn't hopefully that long of still video capture there. Yeah, it's like, nah, bloody nonsense. This was HPPA risk now. Relocations in generic else. What the heck? Adding symbols, file in wrong format. Is 15? Is 15 HPPA risk? Probably not. User libctio. That's a strange thing. How did that happen? Should we better rebuild this from scratch? So yeah, I guess it looks like it might be partially too much LTO, because otherwise this PowerPC wouldn't fix itself except the safe general purpose register set thing there, which might be something else. Only what is now with HPPA risk? Maybe better wipe that and rebuild that. Not sure what I messed up there since the last time. Yeah, I guess we're getting there. It's hopefully the last things, and then we can test install it. And because I have a mission to this month release this set for reasons, especially as much work we put in there. And that's certainly being a nice snapshot. So that, which architecture was it? RS65. So that build then, wait a second, did we build Perl here? Some more Perl triggered that this time up. We didn't build Perl there. Let's then see if that fixes Perl. So the reason is, so I use that and Control C that. I'm aware that that obviously breaks the build, but then it's easier than typing the long, or like auto-completing the long pass and wiping the build error file. And I cancel that instantly and build it then, because then the build continues, right? If hopefully that builds, I don't want to just build to Perl. So it's the job of cross-compile bootstrapping. The job to Perl, but I want that it continues, and this is why I Control C that, then I don't. Otherwise, if I continue to read or debug and stuff, then it wouldn't continue to build. Shell shell escape bash clear line. What yesterday someone, what was it, control L? No, because one, yeah, control U. Was it control U? Maybe. Maybe it was control U. Oh yeah, it's control U. But Word actually, yeah, Z is of course I use often, I know that. So yeah, U is yeah, that's because yesterday someone said I control C too often. That's true. So this apparently did not fix it for Perl, huh? I think we were supposed to rebuild that. So that apparently did not yet really fix that here, I guess. Can try rebuilding GCC. I mean, we will rebuild that just, is it using, maybe it's using another libgcc. It is possible that, this also annoys me, but that is what it is. There's only so much I can patch. It is possible that the cross compiler is using another libgcc from toolchain, cross compiler, libdir and stuff, which is annoying, but possible. Oh, also fat fingered that again. So yeah, we're getting there. We see in 4 or 5 minutes. So HPP risk, and that is how we want to see our Ryzen loaded. It's boosting pretty high with this. It previously yesterday only boosted to 5,200 and not like 5,270 or 5,219. So it is indeed with this curve optimization right now like but this is not all core boost. Yeah, 5,000. And that's also why I continue to use yesterday's video moment channel, right? Active OC overclocker. Only higher temperatures, no benefit for me. If you have like 24/7 all core load, it's probably beneficial, but otherwise I stick to the probably safer and obviously better single or few core boosting AMD PBO performance boost optimizing. Yeah, 5,200, like 5,299 or even 5,200. It's freaking high because one of these cores, like everyone, not all CCXs are manufactured equal, right? So silicon variants, cooling variants, right? Even this IHS soldering there and stuff and gaps and so on, and cooler mounting and thermal grease, right, and so on. But yeah, this is freaking epic high boosting, to be honest. Even like nearly at times many core, 5.5 over many cores. So yeah, certainly I take this stability and lower temperatures over this active overclocking gaming business. Previous moment review. So I guess we stop that here soon. Yeah, that is probably like Emacs. Actually, I use this K for, does it stand for kill maybe even? I am very much used to that in Emacs. Maybe this, hello? Yeah, this is some Wayland, ex-Wayland marginality. Oh, this actually, no, this is not like Emacs because it doesn't control you there. That is disappointing. So much to that. Fact checking that. Yeah, also. Yeah, whatever reason that doesn't work by default in at least maybe in Emac though. Too many. Set differently in GNU Emacs. Not some. No, also not here. Interesting. Why is it not consistent? This is the stuff I hate though, by the way. Key bindings and stuff are nice, but a little bit more consistency and stuff. So we rebuilt one GCC, so let's see if that was a cross-build toolchain not using the freshly built libgcc potentially. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If not, I need to even more guru meditation. Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of disappointed of this kind of load, right? You would really, but yeah, Perl, yeah, the cases didn't fix this thing there. That is a really... That is still the same though. Mwop, mwop, mwop. Oh man, this is where other toolchain maintainers give up. Anyway, we did some stuff, including probably optimizing GCC differently better. Maybe I wait for committing that for HPPA64. It's only some other 20 or so minutes. Anyway, guess that's it for today. Probably need to stop doing this boring toolchain stuff you love on YouTube and do some content more people find interesting. As usual, I hope you learned something. And don't forget to share, like, subscribe, maybe Patreon or YouTube membership. Otherwise, have a good day or night. And as usual, hope to see you soon for the next live streams and fun tech and code stuff to come.